Can the Korg Kronos be replaced by software? This question actually comes up regularly. I've also seen it several times in forums, and today I just want to talk about it with you. It's not that you can fundamentally replace the Korg Kronos with software, but rather the content of what is present in the Kronos. That means I will now go through the new engines with you. We are looking at the Korg Collection and seeing what is there and what is not there. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I would appreciate a subscription. I always appreciate a like, and above all, I look forward to your comments on what you think about replacing the Korg Kronos with software. I am currently very focused on software, as you can tell. But now let's first go to the computer and take a look at the engines and the Korg connection. We are now on the Korg Kronos page, and I would like to click on the technical specifications and then take a look at the synthesis methods. So here we have the SGX2 piano. Whether you choose the SGX2 or SGX1 is basically irrelevant, as both are very good. We have the EP1, which is the E-piano modeling, that is the E-piano engine, and we have the AD1. This is the sample engine, as it used to be in the Triton with HI synthesis. We have the AL1 as an analog modeling synthesizer. We have the CX3 as an organ. The STR1, which is a kind of plugged string physical modeling thing, is something I actually don't use that often. The Mod 7 wave shaping. We have MS20X and the Poly 6EX. And now we come to the exciting part. So aside from the fact that I actually use a lot of HD1 sounds, and maybe a few AL1 sounds, and I don't use the E-piano that much, I still use the organ, of course, because it is better than the HD1. But basically, I don't use everything in an epic form and breadth, so I wouldn't need that either. The Korg Collection is now available in its 5th variation. I still have the 4, but the 5 isn't worth it for me at the moment because there is, in quotes, only the Doctor. The Vox Supercontinental and the EP1 have been added to the 2600. For the EP1, I actually have keyscape and piano technology. I hardly use the Vox, and yes, I don't need another synth, and I believe it's even included in the Arturia collection. But let's start from the top. The question was, can I replace the Korg Kronos? We definitely have the MS-20 here, which we also have in the Korg Kronos, and the Poly 6. That means we have definitely taken care of the last two here, so it's not a problem. The Mod 7, the wave shaping, is essentially an enhanced wave station. That means we actually have that, or they actually have that too. That means we have already covered those things. We do not have the STR1, this physical modeling string thing. Whether one needs it is something everyone must judge for themselves. I would say we do not have that. We also do not have the CX3 organ. We do not have the AL1 either. However, we now have the AB26 included in the new variant. We have the Mini Korg, the Prophecy, the Micro Korg, and I just mentioned Monopoly and the ARP Odyssey. So we already have a broader selection, even though the AL1 is missing here. Then we have the HD1 engine, which is not available in the Korg Collection at all. However, we do have the Triton, and the Triton Extreme with HI sound generation. This is also a BCM, virtual memory technology, and I would say they are very, very similar. The HD1 is a bit more complex. It can do a bit more or even a lot more, but basically they sound very, very similar. And you can also find many wave samples in the Kronos, which are extremely present in the Triton. So I would claim that the Triton and HD can definitely be replaced. We now also have the EP1 included in the Korg Kronos Collection 5, which means that is no longer a problem. The piano is a problem, so what are we missing? We are missing the piano, the organ, string modeling, and AL1, although one can discuss AL1 due to the different aspects. Then we also have the MDEX in the Kronos collection. It's an effects unit that I actually think is quite good. It can cover a lot of ground. The Kronos also has a very cool effects component, with which you can do a lot. So I would say that we can cover that roughly for now. But important things like the organ and the piano are missing. For me, those two things are very, very important. I would say we can leave AL1 and the STR thing aside for now. So, for the piano, the Kronos. Piano has not been the highlight for me personally. I've said that before. I couldn't get along with it, which is why I have the Oasis. The piano uses the old sample HD1 Oasis piano, which I have also introduced in the Korg module. I will link it for you up here. Personally, I find it better. However, there are various variants available. So there is the Studio Logic Numa player, which I will link for you as well, and also down in the description. I use it quite often. It is free, and it has a piano that is okay. You can definitely play it, although you also have to consider whether the Triton Extreme piano might be sufficient for you. Then there is Pianotech in an affordable version. I believe that is €139. where you would also get a very high-quality piano. This would need to be supplemented, always, in relation to the fact that one finds the Triton insufficient for piano, although that is probably sufficient in 80% of cover band cases. You also see a lot of people with a Triton on stage, and they don't sound bad. You just have to say it like that. For the organ, there are also various options, including IK Multimedia, the VB3, and several others, which cost between 50 and 100 euros. These should also be considered. From my perspective, this covers the Korg Kronos very well with software. Of course, there are other packages, such as those from Arturia, which also include a piano and some of these sounds. I definitely know about the MS-20X. So not sounds, but soft synths. There's a Pete. I mentioned piano. There is an e-piano engine included, and there is also an organ included. I think that sounds pretty good for the price at the moment, so for the total price of $599 or so, there's really a lot included. And if you wait for Black Week, I believe it will also be available for 299 euros. So ideally, you get the Korg Collection and the Arturia Collection during Black Friday, or whatever discount days are available. And then you actually have for 600 euros. I would say VSTs that not only replace the Korg Kronos, but are also simply much more flexible and extensive. But that's just my personal opinion. Fundamentally, it works.